What's up, everybody? This is another episode of my favorite episode of today. We've got my favorite person in the entire universe. It's my brother, Jimmy Pa. What's up, James?
Best intro ever. What's up? Thank you.
And Julie's here too.
I'm here.
Producer Matt, are you going to be on the mic at all? No, he is not. But he's seen the show. Jimmy, what are you doing today? What episode did you do?
Scream the TV series, MTV.
Yes, we love it. We are big MTV people.
Yes, we kind of are.
We are.
You still are.
I am.
Yeah. Julie, have you ever heard of the show prior?
I have. You guys know I'm a baby. So,
yeah.
I was like, I can't watch it. I'll be scared. And then when you were like, you'll actually be scared. And I watched it today. And I was like, why did she say that? I'm not scared.
Did I say that?
Yeah. You were like, you might actually be scared. And I was like, but I'm like, not. Like, the movie Scream never scared me. I just love it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
I know,
Thank
right? It gets scary, though, right? Matt?
Like, Scream scary. Like, the movie Scream scary.
Yeah, I guess it's more slasher. I mean,
yeah.
It's not like
jump
Haunting of
scares
Hill
is
House.
what gets me usually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But there's not really much of that.
It hits the nostalgia piece so well of the actual. They did it so well. I'm shook how well they did it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, honestly insane. But I don't know. I remember I'm still a wuss where I'm like, if I watch this at 10 p.m., I might be creeped out going to bed.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but obviously there's parts when they're like in an abandoned hospital and dark and scary. You know,
Ooh,
there's
yeah.
the jump scares.
Okay, tell us
geez.
about it. What is this show about?
What is this show about? Well, if you haven't known or already don't know, this is Scream the MTV series, and it is based off of Scream the movie.
Woo! Just
and
our favorite
that is me and
movie.
Kathleen's favorite movie ever.
And boy, do we know it.
Yeah, I know. I make it.
Yeah,
known.
I can't believe I'm not wearing my Scream shirt today.
I know. We always wear.
I don't know why I thought he was going to say my Scream mask. And I was
Oh
like,
my god, it's actually in my car, I swear.
Wait, which one? The original Scream mask or the one? Didn't I get you this mask?
I don't think so. No, I just have the original.
No, I bought it. Did I not give it to you? Who else?
You probably have it.
Did I give it to Julia? She's the only other person I would have given it to.
Could be, but I definitely only
I
have
think he's forgetting.
you
That's
might
so
have been
dumb.
like you bought it and then you were like, I want this. I do that all the time.
I haven't seen it since.
Well,
I remember going
maybe
to
not.
the Party City near my work, and it specifically had I was searching all around the world for this because it's so obscure.
Yeah.
Nobody's seen this TV show.
No. I mean, it's very cool because everything that the original Scream movies did well. You know, it's obviously not rated R. You have to accept the fact that it's an MTV show.
Yep.
I mean, not for a cheap plug, but we're our podcast, me and Kathleen, we are like the champions of the underrated shows.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I picked this show, because it's entertaining. You know, it's fun. It's not, you know, an HBO show. It's not Scream 1996, you know, but it's still very entertaining. And it parallels the movie, you know, it really does. From the very opening scene, the iconic Drew Barrymore scene, you know, they used Bella Thorne. I guess this was in 2015 when it came out. I feel like it was even longer ago. I feel like it should have been.
Yeah, it's 2015 or 2016. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah. And I actually wasn't watching Nickelodeon or Disney or whatever back then. Like when I was a kid, it wasn't Bella Thorne. I really didn't know who she was.
Yeah.
I knew that she was supposed to be a big deal. She was kind of supposed to be the Drew Barrymore parallel.
She's the MTV grade Drew Barrymore. I mean, she's the hot, famous girl Drew Barrymore, but not like if this was an actual. If HBO did this series, it
would
wouldn't
not
be
be
Bella
in it,
Thorne.
Oh, no. But
Yeah.
the fact that it's MTV, you're getting like a Disney Channel star or Nickelodeon, whatever she was.
Yeah, shake it up.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Disney
With
Channel.
Zendaya.
And you're thinking she's going to be the main character.
Yeah.
And she's not, just like Drew Barrymore was,
Yeah.
you know, but
Yeah.
Drew Barrymore was like superstar at the time. That's why it was so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Bella Thorne looks hot
Oh
in the
my
first
God.
whatever. What
Well,
is she?
she's under 18, so
Is she under 8?
I'm pretty sure at the time.
Well, she's not now.
No, not now.
fine.
I literally have in my notes, get slutty, sis. Like,
Dude.
we'll run through the first scene, but because it's so fucking good. But the scene where she starts like messing around and like playing with him, being like, all right, let's go. Like, this is where it gets interesting kind of part. And she just like throws her hair and like goes in the hot tub. I'm like, get slutty,
Yes.
sis. I'm like, yes, queen.
That's what I was like. Damn, Bella Thorne, you hot bitch.
Wait, let's talk about Bella Thorne really quick. Have you heard the Bella Thorne stuff this week?
Yeah.
The OnlyFans thing.
The OnlyFans thing, that's insane. It's like, but I feel like I've already seen her nudes. Just like, if you're gonna get on OnlyFans promising news that people are paying for, I'm surprised that she didn't.
Yeah, why wouldn't she? Should
She's
have
had
like been
some-
like auctioning her underwear or something. Like,
Yeah.
do something that like you're not really, someone gets your underwear. It's
It's
fine.
like a weird move anyway.
And then she like came out with an apology about it because she like played the world.
Yeah. Wait, before we jump, I have two things. Julie, we've talked about it on the podcast, but tell Jimmy about your costume. The best ever.
Oh, I was Casey back for Halloween one year.
Really? Oh
I have
my
pictures.
gosh, I love it.
It was
It was
so
my
good.
best costume I've ever did in my life.
So we can post that picture when we like post the Instagram because it's really good. We should post the Instagram and then make that like one of the swipe pictures.
I actually remember when I sent you the Snapchat of it and like you responded and you were like, holy shit, that is so fucking good. And I felt so good about myself because she loves Scream. So I was like, oh, no, it is good.
it is.
I feel like I had to have seen it then.
Yes,
Kathleen definitely would have sent it to me.
We should redo it. You could be her. I'll be Sydney. I've said this exact same thing. Just jean jacket, purple shirt, blood all over me.
I'd
Oh,
be
yeah.
down. Kenny was the worst Billy of all time. Remember Kenny's costume? All he wore was a white t-shirt with blood on it. I was like, you could have done so much better.
Me and Jimmy always joke about, because we watch all the same things and whatever, but we always end up like joking like we'll be Casey and Sue. We're like, fuck no, they're dating in the
Yeah.
show. We forget that we're siblings and they're not. Okay. Anyway, and then my second thing is before we jump around and get in. So the actress who plays Brooke, did you recognize her from anything?
No.
This is specifically for you. She is on As the Bell Rings with Tony and Demi Lovato.
Who is she?
She's like the ditzy friend. Like I can't wait to show it to you.
One of my notes that I wrote was Brooke sucks.
We love Brooke.
Yeah, she ends up-
Does
she
she
ends up
redeem
being-
herself?
Oh, she really does.
She's a Petra.
Yeah, she's a Petra, and
Yeah.
she's the Tatum parallel in this.
Yeah.
I would say, but she really like sticks around. No spoiler alert.
I thought I read she was in Gossip Girl too or something.
Wait,
She
I
might have been.
I have to look her up because now I'm like forgetting what she looks like. But one more thing before we jump into it. I was the killer from Scream like 6 years in a row when I was like
I mean, our nephew Bobby did that all the
Yeah,
time. He
I
was just
know.
like, let me put the mask on.
Yeah,
We have
like,
so many masks between the two of us. I can't.
I can't believe I'm not podcasting with the mask
I
on
know.
right now. I
It's
literally have
insane.
it in my trunk.
I wish you did. That would've been
He
so
just walked
funny.
in with the mask on. Okay, so just before we hop in, the thing I like about this is that they didn't just copy Scream. This one has its own lore, which is cool. A different mask, different lore, which we'll have Jimmy tell. But yeah, let's get into the opening Bella Thorne scene. Hit it.
Yeah. Well, I also just want to say, like you were saying, they took their own lore, and a lot of people were actually very pissed in the beginning.
Yeah.
When they realized the mask was going to be different, the lore was going to be different. Obviously, you can't do Sydney because Nev Campbell is just way too big for this. But a lot of people were very pissed Ghostface wasn't in it. And I think after it's all said and done, a lot of people are agree that it was a good thing.
It's just like having a slasher, like Scream itself. Technically, by the end of the movie, like there is a backstory. Like the reason they're doing it is because the year prior, like Sydney's mom, whatever, with the dad, whatever it is. But this one, it goes back. Like when Noah is telling the story of this and the violin music in the back, I mean, and it's incredible. And I'm like, yes, give me a brand new backstory, but still that slasher. Like they're hitting all the bits. They're hitting all of the like. Okay, let's just get into it.
Well, Netflix is like misleading because if you type in Scream, Ghostface is the picture that comes up.
Well, because season 3, man,
Tell us about
something
that. You should have
happens?
picked that.
no way.
That
Is
would
it a
have
big
forced me to watch
spoiler?
it.
So they did
Oh.
2 seasons of MTV Scream and then a special.
Yeah.
And me and Kathleen were so into it. We're superstars on Reddit with our theories, and I swear we either wrote it better than they could have, the ending, or we got it right. And people were loving it.
Yeah.
Okay? And then they just decided, yeah, we're done. No more. They're going to
mean-
cancel it and reboot it. And they did a season 3, and I was talking to producer Matt about it once. I mean, I didn't even finish, and I am obsessed with Scream. Okay? I couldn't even get... I think it was 3-hour episodes. No, 6-hour episodes, I believe.
Yeah, there's only 6 episodes. Yeah, so I don't know. I didn't watch it.
It came out in 3 2-hour
Oh,
episodes.
6. Okay, I thought you were saying 6
No, I'm
hour.
sorry.
And I'm like, wait, what?
6 1-hour, yeah, 6 1-hour episodes, but it came out with 3 separate episodes, 2 hours each.
It was
They
bad.
went back to Ghostface, and I couldn't even watch it.
It was that bad?
It
Oh,
was
that
bad.
sucks.
Yeah, they took all the actors away, changed the story, changed I think Queen Latifah was part of it. I mean,
Which is cool for me if they do it right. Queen Latifah can be in anything. I don't care. I
yeah,
love her.
I mean, she wasn't in it, but she I think was producing or something. But
Weird. Really
Didn't
weird.
she produce Scream Queens?
I don't think
I think I just 100% made that up. Queen Latifah, Scream Queens. I'm just like, yeah, sounds
You're giving
right.
her that credit, and I don't think she deserves it. I don't know that she owns that
She's
credit.
in Hairspray. That's all we need to know.
Yeah, you know, exactly.
Well, I was literally looking up, like refreshing myself with the 2 seasons, and I was remembering how season 2 ends, and I was like, oh my gosh, cliffhanger.
Yeah,
oh my
I know,
God.
I know.
And
It's
we're
so
never
annoying.
going to know.
It
That
was fun, though, because
sucks.
me and Jimmy watched it, like, together every week.
Yeah. It's still
Which was
worth
fun.
watching.
I love
Especially
that.
season 1. They're both really
Especially.
good. Season 1 does end in a good enough way where you could just watch one season and be happy with it.
Yeah.
I love these characters.
Is
Like,
it
I
all
fell
new
in love.
It's all new characters in season 2?
No. It's
No,
1
they-
and 2 are canon.
Right.
Together,
Gotcha,
same
okay.
universe, yeah. Whoever survives.
Yeah.
The cool thing about it, and I'm going to quote our boy Noah here.
Yeah, baby. I
So,
love
I mean, but the thing is, it's like a teen show, MTV teen show that everyone doesn't like to admit that they love.
Yeah.
But then you add like the Scream part of it, you know, so it gives you like a little bit of both. So, I mean, the other thing about it is it's meta, so it knows it's just like Scream was in 1996. It knows that
Very aware.
it's a TV show. It knows it's a scary TV show, like it's a slasher. In the show, Noah is our Randy.
Yes.
You know, and he's explaining everything, and he's the one that is breaking the fourth wall. He's kind of understanding that they're in a scary movie.
While you read it, I'm going to do the...
So Riley's asking, he's given the story, and we'll get into that more, but he's given the story about what he thinks is going to happen and why it's happening. So Riley, giving him a little of attention, says, you know, what's the end of the story? Tell me. So he says, you got to remember that the whodunit may not be as important in our story. You need to forget that it's a horror story, that someone might die at every turn. You have to care if the smoking hot lit teacher seems a little too interested in his female students. You have to care if the team wins the big game. You have to care if the smart pretty girl forgives the dumb jock. And Riley says, sounds like Friday Night Lights.
Love that.
I love that show. I almost picked that show.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And then he says, exactly. You root for them. You love them. So when they're brutally murdered, it hurts.
When he says that line, I fall in love with him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Noah is like my dorky Michael kind of like...
Yeah. No, but I actually was like, oh, I like him too.
Yeah. When
And-
his eyes light up, like
Yeah.
when people start talking about it and his eyes light up, I'm like, the passion.
When I'm going to jump ahead, but when he tries to swim across the lake, my anxiety was through the roof. I wouldn't get in the lake during daytime, let
Oh, yeah.
alone nighttime. I would play dead on that dock until the sun came out.
And that's the Brandon James Lake.
Yeah. Oh, so I watched it last night and then I watched it today again one more time, like at work, just to, because I love it. I could just listen. I don't even
yeah.
need to watch. I've seen it 500 times. And during that scene, I fast forwarded because I was like, I can't. It's giving me anxiety. It's
Dude, and
insane.
just like him getting pulled, like I'm like, nope. Who would ever do that? Like, why would he do? When he gets the idea that he can swim across the lake, I'm like, no, the fuck you can't.
I would just scream and scream and scream until someone like...
I would will myself to die.
I
on
would
that
be
dock.
Stephanie and play dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
Literally.
Yeah, he's like, oh, it's all good. Let's get in the water.
Yeah. Okay, he's like, I can make it. He like eyes it up. He's like, I got this.
Okay, let's actually like go through it a little bit. This
Yeah.
is one of, we never, our episodes recently, we haven't really been going through the episode. But this
get
one,
off topic.
like,
This is good to go through like
I
that.
feel like a pilot one, we really can walk through it, and anyone who listens who hasn't seen this show can be convinced to watch it by
Right.
going through this because it's so
100%.
good.
Right.
Okay, so Bella Thorne is the Drew Barrymore, like Jimmy said, and she gets brutally murdered in the first 5 minutes, and it's
Right.
lit. I have it written down when she has this little stupid dog, Pomeranian, and she's like, I have a Pomeranian, it'll gut you on command. And I was like, it's like the cheap version of like, I have a boyfriend and he's big and he plays football and he'll kick the shit out of you. It's
Yep.
like not, it's like a low brand version, but
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's fucking lit. I love it.
Yeah.
So did you see that coming? Or
What?
did you think Bella Thorne was going to be in the...
No, I knew exactly what you guys said. Like, I knew that they were probably doing exactly what happened in the movie Scream. But I did, like, I was at first thinking it really was her boyfriend texting her. Like, I just really went over my head. And then I was like, oh, fuck, wait, this is definitely the killer, like, messing with her. And then, you know, game over when he throws the head in the hot tub and you're just
Yeah.
like, damn.
I know, heads up.
Yeah.
And the
God.
Tyler thing stays as a storyline. They don't find him for a while in the season.
Yeah, well, that's at the end. She's like, is it Tyler who kills me? Like, it is actually hilarious how nobody cries when she dies. Not a single person. And Riley's like feeling sad about it in the middle. But at the end, she's like, so what's the ending? Does Tyler kill him? Or is it really Brandon James back? Like,
Yeah.
so
Well,
dorky.
I think it's important to start with the fact that she's a bitch. So
Nina is.
Nina,
Yeah.
So it starts showing Audrey being recorded with her quote unquote girlfriend. She says the whole time it's not, and then they post it all over, basically cyberbullying. And then that's why you think, whether it's true or not, I'm not going to spoil it, that Audrey might be the killer.
They do a great job laying everyone out as a suspect. I mean, besides maybe Emma.
I didn't think her at all.
So at the end, when you kind of see her like at the board and you see with Brandon James like on her board or whatever it is, I don't know, you're supposed to be like, ooh. Yeah. And even Noah at the end with this and Jake and Will being the Stu and Billy of the story. Yep. But before we hop out of the Bella Thorne, because wow, we are not even close to being through this episode. Classic. Part of the cool part of Drew Barrymore Scream, it's so classic, but I mean, part of Julie's costume was literally the phone, the old school phone. So I like how they did it with, she's getting taunted by text. She's getting taunted by like cameras and video. Snapchat and stuff. Yeah. And it's like, so it's kind of like Scream 4 where you've got the Culkin, I don't even remember their names in the whatever. And it's like Hayden Panettiere and Culkin and the Culkin brother. And they're saying like, oh, the game has changed. Absolutely. Yeah. And we've maybe said it on this podcast, but Scream 4 is like almost as good as Scream 1.
I love Scream 4.
Scream 4 is incredible. Yeah. But I like where they're like, okay, the game has been changed and you have those characters telling you the rules of the new slasher age and like, oh, the new way.
It's the reboot rules.
Yes. Don't fuck with the original, baby.
And that's like the TV series. Another Noah line is they're talking about you can't do a slasher as a TV series.
I love that.
Because Jake's saying they're doing it in class. They're talking in class and they're talking about the gothic genre and they're saying, I forget, Walking Dead, Bates Motel, I think.
American Horror Story.
Right. And Jake says, what about Halloween and Texas Chainsaw? And Noah says, no, they're slashers. You can't do it.
Yeah.
And he's trying to explain why you can't do it because slashers are 90 minutes. You go in, you go out. You kill everyone. The final girl makes it, and that's it. And that's where the quote comes in about, you care about these people for a whole season. And so when they die, you care.
Gothic genre is all over TV right now. You have American Horror Story, you have Bates Motel, Hannibal.
What about Texas Chainsaw or Halloween?
Those are slasher movies. So, you can't do a slasher movie as a TV series. Well, think about it. Girl and her friends arrive at the dance, the camp, the deserted town, whatever. Killer takes them out one by one. 90 minutes later, the sun comes up as the survivor girl is sitting in the back of the ambulance watching her friends' bodies being wheeled past. Slasher movies burn bright and fast. TV needs to stretch things out.
Nina, are you home?
By the time the first body is found, it's only a matter of time before the bloodbath commences.
It's so good. That's the first time you hear like that, and he is just like ripping the rules, and it's just like I think about the scene in Scream 2 where they're talking about the movies and sequels like whatever. So often it's the same in Scream 4. They have like a classroom scene. And I'm like, oh my God, they do it so well. Every time the nerd starts like going in on the rules, I'm so in on that.
Yeah. I mean, Randy shows up in Scream 3 as well on tape. Giving the rules.
Scream 3 is the worst movie.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, I can watch Scream 3. I can't watch season 3 of Scream.
That's true.
So.
Wait, it's Scream 3. Is that, which one's Emma Roberts? Is that 4?
That's 4.
Okay.
That's one we love.
Yeah.
So Scream 3, and there was a different ending written and it got leaked. So that I think they changed
almost
up
the whole movie was rewritten.
And boy, did they rush that, I think.
Yeah,
they leaked the whole thing, and then they rewrote the entire thing because they didn't want anybody to know what happens.
Was Wes Craven attached to this show?
No, he passed away. Well, he wasn't attached, and then he passed away.
He was not attached.
No, he wasn't.
Ever. But
neither was Kevin Williamson.
Okay. They did it good.
They got the blessing though, but it was all it was all new, all on TV.
Just like do it.
Was Scream 2 the one where Sydney dreams about her mom in the window?
No, that's 3.
That scared me like no other. Like terrifying.
I think that's the scariest part of the whole 4
I've
movies.
never watched it more than like once or twice because of that scene. It scares me so bad.
Let's dive into this a little bit because Julie, you're so right. That scene with the mom is the scariest part, but her walking through the sets is equally as scary. Like, I remember being like, fuck.
I think one of the best not necessarily scare scenes, but the best scenes is in Scream 3 when there's all the costumes.
The Scream costumes, yes.
And one of them is the killer. And
God, the idea of it all is so good, but it just did not pan out.
I just think that especially with the reveal. I mean, that's the big thing for me always.
Yeah.
You know, I want to know why and who did it. You know, Noah just said who done it doesn't matter, but I care about who done it.
Yeah, we do care.
You know, we want to guess. And that's why we were mad that it was canceled, because we don't know.
I have 3 words for you. Courtney Cox's bangs.
Yeah, I heard that.
In season 3 are cut to her scalp.
David Arquette recently said that it was his fault.
Really?
Yeah, they were married at the time, and he said, I don't know the actress, but he said, try to make this look happen. And he said it to her and like the cost or whatever, the people doing her hair.
Who gave him the right?
Yeah.
The audacity.
I mean, that's why like he announced it as a joke when he was announcing he was in Scream 5. Like that was why it came up.
Deputy Dewey Boy.
Oh, I love him.
I know so much. Okay, back to the show. We barely talked about it, but Audrey, Bex Taylor Klaus is Audrey's character. I met Bex at Monster Mania. It was great. We'll post that picture too. I had her slitting my throat Scream style. But anyway, so plays such a big role in this episode. She's kind of the quote unquote outcast, but Emma is our Sydney. So we get introduced to Emma right after Bella Thorne gets killed off. Emma's our Sydney. She's our main character. Used to be best friends with Audrey. They fell out. Audrey and Noah are best friends. So they're kind of the outcast, and they call her Bi-Curious in the thing. And on my autograph, she signed it Bi-Curious and the Virgin, because there's a picture of Audrey and Noah. But that kind of like is a main theme throughout the entire thing, like dealing with that as well. Her dealing with the trauma of being harassed, basically. And then Nina, I guess. It's barely about Nina.
No, yeah, it's really, I mean, Nina's the one who did the harassing, but the whole deal with Audrey is that Audrey went one way, where it's the I'm a nerd, I guess, way. Emma is popular and has all the popular friends, and Audrey and her aren't friends anymore. But you can tell that Emma's still really nice, but all the others aren't.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you think Will is hot? Jimmy.
Yes.
Kind of. But he's like too douchey for me.
I'm a Jake girl forever.
He's a big douche.
Jake is the Stu, who I love. He's like such a goofy, stupid one where Will and Jake are best friends, and it's Will is Billy, Jake is Stu, and Stu's kind of the one saying like, leave her alone, and like kind of like saying shit that's gonna get them in trouble, and Billy's like, what the fuck?
There's just really a lot of storylines going on at once.
So many.
And some are just like the teen storylines, like the teen TV show storylines, and others have to do with the horror stuff. You know, it's really a mix.
Yeah. I would say this episode is so strong, and not until, because it stays strong, I think, but once it gets to the party, it really hits the MTV tropes. Like really just the like, they're at a party, there's like these really cringy lines happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's okay though, because like especially with the slasher films, you understand that they're gonna sometimes be cheesy. So the fact that it's an MTV show and it's being cheesy by default makes it okay. Like I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
You know?
We forgive a lot.
Yeah, we do actually. Yeah.
We like a lot of things. What was your favorite part? You liked it a lot, right?
I did, but I love Scream. But I'm like where like you guys love all the Screams. Like I've seen the first Scream like a million times, whereas like the other ones I haven't seen that much. That's why I'm always like, which one is this? Because I've seen the first one 1,000 times. I loved the episode because it was like the modern day Scream.
Yep.
Like another thing that you said, like where you said the phone in the original Scream is like huge. The popcorn is it for me.
Woo.
Like my whole life have wanted to make popcorn like that.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
I'm a
you could. They
microwave.
sell
I
it.
know, but I'm a microwave girl. I grew up with a microwave. Like I never did it over the stove. So like that whole thing is like iconic for me too.
That's like social media now. It's like, it's the popcorn for me, is how people phrase everything now. It's like, it's the blah, blah, blah for me.
Yeah.
It is I mean, can't get more iconic than that.
Dude, yeah.
That's so good. Let's get into the Brandon James lore, because what happened is they find out Nina dies, and then they sit down for mandatory counseling is what they sit down for. And then Noah gets that glimmer in his eye because they bring up Brandon James. And then there's Kieran is another character who is the new kid in school. He's like this like hot, broody, like blah, blah, blah.
That was his first ever acting job too.
I don't like Kieran.
He's not hot.
Well,
He's like, Jimmy's like, well, he's hot. But
he's pretty hot. I like his hair.
Yeah, he's got good hair. But no, I never gravitate towards like the broody character. Just not what I do. But okay, hit us with the Brandon James lore because it's great.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah, so that's why the mask and the lore actually is really cool with this show. So Noah explains that there's a kid, and like you were saying, it's years and years ago. So the connections are that we'll get to it, but like Emma's mom, and it's during her time as like a teenager. So I mean, what if she's 40s now or 50s now? It's 20 something years ago, 20, 30 years ago. And he was a child that had Proteus syndrome, and he had to get all these surgeries on his face over and over. They said it was like over 10, I think.
Yeah.
And every time he got a new mask. And that ended up being like one of the last masks he wore to protect his face. And that was just the iconic, we're going to use that. And he was wearing it, quote unquote, when he was killing.
Yes.
Whether you believe he's the killer or not back then.
Yeah. So they say the night he killed people, quote unquote, again, is Halloween night. So he goes up to Daisy, this girl named Daisy. So we don't know the reveal yet at this point.
Right.
So he goes up to Daisy. It's Halloween night. So wearing the mask is fine. And then he takes the mask off and it basically looks exactly the same underneath. She freaks out. He gets beat up. It's classic. It sucks. We love Brandon James. I'm a Brandon James stan.
And it's all based on rumors and story too. Like that's important for later in the story, whether you get to season 1 and 2. They were childhood friends, him and Daisy. He was an outcast. I mean, worse than Audrey. His dad was ashamed of him. His mom and his brother took care of him, and Daisy was his like next door neighbor or something.
Yeah.
He fell in love with her, and he goes to the dance, and like they say that he was sending her notes back and forth, and they were kind of friendly for a long time. And he goes to the dance to meet up with her and tell her that he loves her pretty much. And she has, I mean, are we going to go with the reveal now? Or
Yeah, go with the reveal.
Okay,
I loved it. I loved this.
So you find out that it's Emma's mom. And Daisy was just a name that her friend, or only her family, right?
Only her family
used. So, and she was underage, so was able to be wiped out, and no one ever found out that she was Daisy.
Yeah.
So she had a boyfriend who was Emma's dad, and he wasn't very nice to her apparently back then. And Brandon is trying to tell her that he's not good for her, and Brandon is, and it's his friends that beat up Brandon.
Yeah.
And she definitely isn't, like, that's the thing, like you don't know the whole story, but you're supposed to assume that she isn't actually freaking out because she knows what Brandon looks like. She's been friends with him.
Yeah. See, this is a reveal for Julie because you're kind of going past episode 1, but it's fine because it's a cool reveal anyway. But yeah, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, so after he gets beat up, he goes on a killing rampage.
Quote unquote.
Quote unquote. And then after the rampage happens, he kills 5, and one of them, I guess the 6th is the dad.
Yeah.
But he was only injured. So he was stabbed and injured. And then he met with Daisy at the docks where Noah was,
stranded
getting
swimming.
stuck in the fishnet.
Yeah.
And, they met to talk, and Daisy said, turn yourself in, and they shot him. And he fell into the water.
That's so sad.
I know.
It's so
I mean,
sad.
and they like show his voice. Like he's talking, and he's like,
sweet.
I only wanted to. Yeah, I forget his actual quote.
Yeah,
but
what does he say? He's like, I only wanted to
be with you or something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he gives her the little heart thing.
Yeah. And I think it's cool that they immediately show her now, current day, open this box and it has a heart reveal. Because is this before or after she gets the pig heart?
No, it's before.
It's before.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We get a lot of the cool, like, Emma's mom reveals in this one. I
Mm-hmm.
love
And
the
I thought-
Brandon James stuff.
I thought Emma knew at first because she says at the one part, like, you deserve it for all you've been through. And then
Right.
she gets, like, real butthurt. Like, she's like, Brandon James is dead. So I'm like, oh, she knows. But then they get the package and she's like, who's Daisy? And I'm like, okay, she definitely doesn't know.
Yeah, so she knows her dad was attacked.
Okay,
So she
gotcha.
knows that Brandon James attacked her dad, but that's all she knows at the time.
Yeah. It's good.
yeah.
It's really good. And then they show them kind of outside on the lawn, and it's so Scream. It's
It
like
is.
them on the fountain being like, live her alone. That
Yeah,
whole
exactly.
scene is them just like arms over each other, like laying around, blah, blah, blah. It's so Scream.
It's the exact
Perfect.
thing where they're all sitting around, and at the time Stu says something, and Sydney goes like, she gets like upset, and Lily's like, stop. And Jake does the same thing,
Yep.
and he's, whatever he's saying, like,
Yeah, I've been saying liver in the man box, but that's Randy.
no, Stu says live her alone.
Oh, liver alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, is he true they put the
But
liver
he-
in the
but
mailbox
he's-
next to his spleen and his pancreas?
Nice.
Thanks.
But he's given too much details is really what, like, because it's Sydney's freaked out, and he's saying, she was gutted, Casey
Yeah.
was gutted, and they're saying, relax, dude. And then Jake's doing the same thing because he says the mom or the neighbor tweeted that she was sliced from ear to ear,
Thinking back, of course, spoiler alert, it's Billy and Stu in Scream. If you don't know that, that's insane.
1996, you better know.
Yeah, it's statute of limitations. But knowing that Stu is literally sitting next to Billy being like, saying all that stuff, and Billy's like, you're fucking kidding.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely
shut the fuck
stop. It's incredible.
Yeah.
But I like that in that scene where they're like, is it really appropriate to have a party tonight? And Brooke's just like, it's a prayer vigil.
Yeah.
Should
It's
I
an
have one
Irish
keg?
wake.
Yeah. Oh God, I love Brooke. You're gonna love Brooke.
Yeah, you will.
So can you guys tell me, or tell me if it'll completely spoil it? Do you meet the killer in season 1 or in episode 1?
You find out the killer.
Oh
No. Do
by
you
the-
know? Have you met?
We're
if
not
you
gonna
watch-
tell you.
We can't tell you that.
Okay.
We can't tell you that. Only because there's, at Scream, there's like twists and turns.
Yeah.
I have like a feeling like
But I'll tell you that you do find out the killer in episode 10 or however many episodes are
Right.
in the final
I
episodes.
have a feeling that the killer is somehow linked to Brandon James, like his like child or
I
something.
love that you are thinking that
proud of
deep
you.
into
Yeah.
this.
I am.
I
I know
love a
it's
good
gonna
theory.
be something like I love a good theory too.
Yeah.
But sometimes I hate myself because I make up one that's so like, oh, that's totally it.
Oh my
and it's
God.
Preaching
not.
to the choir
We
here, okay?
Jimmy listened to the Dexter episode today, and so we were talking about Dokes. Do you remember, like, Dokes is the cop who hates
The bad
Dexter,
cop, yeah.
and
Or, like,
he
yeah.
was talking about Dokes, and you like looked at me and were like, and I was like, she thinks it's Dokes. Like I could
Yeah.
see it light up in your eye. I was like, couldn't be true.
And
I
It's
loved
not-
that episode because I almost picked Dexter too.
Yeah.
You know, if he didn't pick it, I would have picked it, except for the fact that I feel like we needed to talk Scream, so that's why I
Yeah.
picked Scream.
Yeah.
But, everything that he was saying, and when you guys were asking, I was like, that's exactly how I would have responded. Like,
Yeah.
I love it.
I kept
know,
going,
you always
what
gotta
about
love-
this? And I'm like, no, don't tell me.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't tell me.
It's so hard to not. That was like me in Haunting of Hill House, like or on. What is it? Of or on? I
Of.
can't get it right. Of. Okay.
Yeah. Oh God, I love that show.
Yeah, like I kept asking you questions. You were like, just fucking watch it.
Yeah,
but I
I'm
was
like-
so
you're
scared.
like, what
Like,
happens to the
that's
mom?
the shit I
What
can't
happens with the
watch.
mom?
Like that's the stuff that scares me,
Okay, Haunting of Hill House is incredible,
but terrifying.
but terrifying.
Yeah, and now they're coming out with a new.
I
I think
know.
the new one looks like scarier.
Yeah, dolls and shit. Don't play. No. And
Yeah,
that comes
right.
out.
Don't play.
That comes out on my wedding. I just want everyone to know. I
Oh,
was
so we're
gonna-
skipping it?
I was gonna text you guys and be like, "So are you guys skipping my wedding?"
Me and Matt are gonna be like, fucking, we're watching it on our phones in the
Yeah, it's
back.
the ceremony, and Kathleen has her fucking headphones in, just binging.
Like I've seen a million
What
wedding
is it?
ceremonies. I don't need to see this one.
Right.
Bly Manor.
Bly Manor.
Bly
yeah.
Manor.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm glad they brought most of the cast back, but it's
Yeah.
the new one. Like my guy Rohokoli, I think is his name is for my zombie. Dab. He's so good.
Dude, little kids are scarier than humans. That's why, like
Yeah.
adults.
Hell yeah.
So
Those
I'm
aren't
like,
the same
"Ah."
little kids though, right? That's not little Nelly.
No.
Okay, back to this. So basically, we get the Emma's mom reveal, and then we head over to Brooke's party. Emma invites Noah and Audrey, which is nice of her, but you almost know something is
Right.
like, gonna go off. I don't know. This is where it kind of gets MTV to me.
Yeah.
Like if you want to go into it, Noah really being Randy when he's like telling the story on the couch, and Brooke goes into the.
Is it Randy or Noah or Kieran that tells the part where he's saying that we're at like a party, where he's
I think it's Kieran that says that.
right. So he's just
Yeah.
saying, basically, again, calling it out, being like, if we're like Noah says we're safe here because slashers aren't going to come in with like a machine gun and just start lighting us up. It's the person who walks away.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
And it's funny because Brooke says that immediately right before the thing. She's like, first of all, Brooke just loves to watch the world burn. She tells Emma that
Oh
Will's
my
cheating on
God.
her with Nina, and she is just going to each group and just setting a fire and walking away. I love her so much.
Yeah.
She has a major character change.
She really does. It's almost like Brooke Davis in One Tree Hill. Like she comes in episode 2 and it's such a ditzy dumb, and then they make her the best character ever. It's
Yep.
like I don't think they realize what they had with Brooke, and then they're like, oh shit.
I mean,
she's
it's
good.
almost like Margot too with the magicians.
Speak of my language.
Yeah. Yeah. So Brooke disappears, walks away, and it's because someone tells her that the lights are on in the garage.
Yeah.
So, and of course, it's the garage with 17 cars in it, and because
Yeah.
she's rich, and you find out more about her rich dad too later. But
Yeah.
she walks in, she's checking the car, and this is where you're waiting for the jump scare. So you're sitting there and you're like, oh, here it comes. But she's walking, the door's open, she's looking around, and then she walks right into Will. So that's kind of the jump scare.
Yeah.
Then you're looking at Will, and this is again like another teen thing, but you're like looking at Will, like, are you the killer?
Yeah.
Because he's a little badass
He's the
too. He's
Billy.
like, if you ever get in between me and Emma again, I'll end you or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll break you.
Yeah,
is what
whatever
said.
he
It's like,
says.
what does that mean, sir?
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah,
And we
really. You're saying that to a 17-year-old girl? You're gonna break her?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is very suspicious. Let's just talk about how if you went into your garage and your lights wouldn't turn on, you would not walk into the fucking garage.
I'd be like, help!
And if your car door was open, you would not sit in your dark car and turn it off.
After you know someo's been killed.
Oh my God.
No.
It's-
Even if no one got killed, if my lights wouldn't turn on, I would literally have my phone flashlight on
Well,
trying
that's
to...
funny because I was literally just watching or listening to the Dexter one where you're talking about you always have to have your phone on and check the back seat.
100%, you just have to. And I
And-
think it's crazy that guys don't think that.
Yeah,
I thought
literally.
everybody thought that, and then like we were talking more about it, and I'm like, I guess it is
Jimmy's
like a
a
girl
third
thing.
degree black belt. He could kick this shit.
That's
He's
true.
a slasher. Psh.
We just
Jimmy's the slasher.
Kathleen gave me a buck knife for
I did.
Scream. A literal, real buck knife that says, "What's your favorite scary movie?" on it.
Engraved.
And I've taken it out here and there because why else would I take it out? And I'm like, this thing is sharp. It's
Yeah.
very, and I'd kill somebody with
I got
it
the
if they
exact.
break into my house.
I had to buy the exact replica from online, and then I took it to a place and said, "Can you engrave what's your favorite scary movie?"
they were like serial killer.
but it's in the on the cover, like it's,
Yeah, it's on the-
like the
it's on the-
leather
yeah.
case.
It's
It's
not
in.
on the knife.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have loved
Engraved
to
the
get
knife.
it engraved
Yeah.
into the knife, but I would have been like
But that-
paying big bucks.
It is
for that.
freaking sharp, man.
Yeah, but I like that knife because me and Jimmy love when they take the knife with their hand and
Wipe
clean
the-
it.
yeah.
Yeah, clean it with their hands.
we
Ooh.
need Jimmy to just sit in our car at all times.
I'll be in the back seat just chilling.
He's our bodyguard.
Jimmy, are you there?
Jimmy,
All right,
hello?
it's safe.
It's us.
We're good.
Yeah, we're good. We can get in.
Okay, so this is where Noah gets put on. I'm trying to think of anything.
Well, the one thing that kind of pissed me off was Noah isn't drinking that much. I mean, and then
Yeah.
he passes out being like, night, night, and I'm thinking they should have. I'm not saying they should have drugged him or
Drugged him,
something, but
yes.
if it's a prank,
Yeah.
I'm thinking they're going to make him keep drinking or do something to make him pass out. But he kind of just like passes out at this party.
Yep.
And then he wakes up in the middle of the lake. And then at the same time, you're kind of having Brooke tell Will or tell Emma about Will and Nina. And then she just walks away, finds Kieran, is like, "You want to make out,
I
dude?"
know. I don't love Kieran, but I like this line. So she shows up all bent out of shape because she found out that Nina and Will banged while they were on a break, quote unquote, Ross and Rachel.
God.
But they go down to this, like, I don't know, like plant room. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a greenhouse.
Greenhouse.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not
You
called
know,
a plant room.
Plant room.
The plant room.
Plant murder room.
I feel like my I actually like when Noah's like, I have a house just like this in the Hamptons.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
And Brooke does the K.
I love them. I love these characters. So you'll see eventually, like, there's a lot of death in the first season, like ones you would not expect. So once it kind of gets to season 2, people you wouldn't expect are like dating, and you have like more of a core group that are bonded by the murders in season 1.
It's literally Friday Night Lights
It's so
with
good.
Scream. Like,
Yeah.
there is, everything's going.
Landry.
Oh,
Piece
Landry.
of shit.
Freaking killed someone, man.
Spoiler, worst plot line
Ugh.
ever. Anyway, so Emma shows up to Kieran. Kieran just like drinking a beer in the plant room.
Chilling.
The plant room, the greenery.
And so they're talking about Kieran says something like your perfect boyfriend, and she goes, my perfect boyfriend slept with the deceased, which is funny in itself, saying the deceased, your fucking friend. And he goes, necrophilia is a problem. And she
Yeah.
goes, you are dark.
Yeah.
And he's like, you have no idea. And I'm like, I love that about you. It's
Yeah.
like funny, witty joke.
I mean, and he calls her out too. She says, like, are you supposed to like your friends in high school? And he's like, I would hope so. I mean, she really doesn't fit with any of them. Like
No.
Riley, maybe. Like Riley's fine. She's nice, but
Spoiler alert, her, Audrey, and Noah become really close.
Yeah.
Like,
she's almost like how Nancy is when she starts dating Steve. Like
Exactly.
she hangs out with them because of who she's dating, but you can tell she's so uncomfortable, can't
Yes.
participate in any conversation. Like she thinks they're fucking douchebags,
Yeah.
but she's
Yeah.
just dealing
Sweet,
with
sweet
them.
Nance.
Oh, sweet Nancy.
and I love Emma. Like Emma's character, I think her name is Willa Fitzgerald
Yep.
in real life. I would watch her in anything now, even though this is kind of like, it's not like she's extraordinary in this series, but I love her. It's not like the acting really brings the house down for
Yeah.
me. Like when her and Audrey are at the pool, and Audrey's like, because you got pretty, and then is like, I'm not like into you or anything. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness gracious, you're bi curious. I'm like, I love this, but it's so corny.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess that's what it's like in high school. It's like awkward if you're like bi curious. You feel the need to be like, I don't have a crush on you.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
like now, when you get older, it's like people don't think that. But
Yeah.
I love it.
It's hard to remember. Like now that we're older,
Yeah.
we're watching and we're like, oh yeah, I guess that's what it was like. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. But Noah getting stuck in the dock swimming ashore kind of ends the party for everybody, right? Nothing happens.
Yeah, he gets caught on the fishnet. He thinks someone's pulling him down. Kieran comes in and saves him, and then Jake reveals that it was like his prank.
Yeah.
And then Audrey gets pissed and says, "Thanks for inviting us to the party, Emma," and then takes him away, and then I guess Emma leaves with Kieran. And then that's when you find out that...
Ooh, good reveal, yeah.
Yeah, that's when you find out that the sheriff is Kieran's dad.
Yeah.
And Daisy and Maggie and the sheriff are hanging and banging.
So we knew before that they were dating, right? Like earlier when Emma's mom reveals that she's Daisy to sheriff, whatever, that's the reveal, right? That they're dating.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because Emma brings it up, and I think the mom's kind of just trying to blow it off a little bit, you know? That they're hanging and banging.
Yeah.
But, I think you're supposed... I mean, she's calling him over, late at night.
Yeah, true.
Check out this pig's heart in a box and let's hang and bang.
So it's funny, when you saw that, Joel, did you think that was a pig's heart or a human heart? I thought it was a human heart.
I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
I was like, is that just a blood cloth? What is that?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this.
Say it.
But...
You're allowed to say whatever you
want. They love
want.
to talk about pig hearts in the rest, like pig stuff. In the rest of the big stuff in the rest of these 2 seasons, like there's
really,
like I can't say anything because there's other spoilers, but
I feel like there's pig references in other scary stuff though. Like
corn syrup. What they use for pig's blood and carry.
Yeah, there you go.
Anthony Perkins, psycho.
But I do like. Did you see Roanoke? Didn't it have something to do with like her eating a pig's heart or something? Like. Yeah, so like maybe pigs' hearts mean something and we just don't know.
I think pigs might be the most accessible animal when you need to, when a serial killer decides that they want to send somebody a human organ or an animal organ. Pig might be the easy option to find that. Yeah, I don't know.
There's other pig organs in the rest of the... Yeah.
I don't remember. I'm gonna re-binge.
Yeah.
So I actually, weirdly enough, me and Julia watched this a month ago because we were hanging out and we're like, what should we watch? And we watched a few episodes and I was like, damn.
I watched episode 1 for this and I'm like, I have other stuff I need to be watching right now and I really want to keep watching.
I've only seen the special one time when we watched it together.
Yeah.
And it's like an hour and a half. It's on Netflix, right, Matt? Yeah, it doesn't give you
nothing. And it's after season 2 when you're like, there's a cliffhanger and you want some more, and there's literally not one thing to the actual storyline that matters.
I remember watching the season 2 reveal and being like, what the fuck? Yeah. Like, no, take it back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still good, but being like, no.
I'll just say that talking about an MTV show, I think season 1 as a Scream, like not parody, but like what do you want to call it?
Yeah, homage. Yeah.
Like an homage to Scream. I thought it was a perfect first season.
Me too. Yeah.
All the way to the reveal.
I mean, I thought the first episode crushed it enough for like.
In the reveal of the first season, the killer says this one line that slays me. I mean, it is pure comedy and it does not mean to be. And I really need you to at least finish season 1 so we could talk about it because it is chef's kiss. I mean, I don't even know if you know what I'll tell you. We'll talk about it post this.
Yeah.
But damn, is it fucking funny. I was like, they didn't mean to, but they did it for me. I've been
binging Vampire Diaries, but I think I have to put it on hold and finish this.
This is such an easy binge. Like 10 episodes is so easy.
45 minutes in and out.
Did you guys notice that Netflix switched the order of how episodes or seasons are listed?
Yes.
3 to 1 now?
3,
Or
2,
like for this it would
1.
be 3
What
to 1.
is that shit?
I don't know.
Well, that is so easy to screw up. Like when Dad was getting ready to watch something, I was like, "Don't start at the last season, please."
If I had a nickel for every time I was like, "Do not, like, please pay attention to the episode you're on." Well, my dad is on my Netflix, my Prime, and my Hulu on my parents' TVs.
Yeah,
and me, Jimmy, and my dad watch all the same shows. So I'm like, when he's watching Winona Earp, I'm rewatching it, he's watching it. He's like starting on when I'm in season 3 and he's only in season 1. I'm like, Dad, you're killing me.
Yeah.
No, stop it, please.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need you to
I'm
say,
like really pissed
play.
about it because I clicked Scream and then it was like season 3 episode 1 and I'm like, who the fuck is using my Netflix?
Why would Jim pick this piece of shit episode?
Yeah, truly. Why?
I think
they're maybe just trying to start you on like, hey, this is the newest season.
Yeah.
You're on this, right?
I'm not.
Like
I don't agree.
Yeah,
It's
you're
like,
caught up.
Yeah.
Do
ew.
better, Netflix.
Noah has like no scaries. I feel like I would have major drinking scaries the next day.
Oh, yeah. Waking up in the middle of a lake and
Yeah.
thinking someone pulled you down.
I know. Well, scaries about that and scaries that I passed out and woke up on a
Yeah.
Because you know me, I got the worst scaries of all time
Yeah.
with drinking. But in between the party and the school the next day, which is one of the final scenes, Audrey goes to Rachel's house. They have a little scene, but you see the killer watching them, which is cool.
That is cool, yeah.
Because at the end of the episode, you see Audrey and you kind of say like, wait a second, is she like the killer? You don't know, but you also saw somebody watching her. So it's like, is there multiple killers?
Right,
Is there
right.
this? Is there that?
And if you know Scream 1,
Yeah.
you're looking for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I liked, we barely touched on it, but Jake and Will have some weird business with spying.
Right.
We know that. They're talking about like, did you delete it off your fingerprints are on this and that? And you never, like, I would die if I was in some sketchy business and my friend was being like Jake. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, please get it together,
Someone
sir.
just died and he's like, yeah, we got this thing going on with Nina. Can you wipe that laptop,
Yeah.
please? Like, he's like, nah, it's all good.
I know he has
Yeah.
a Nina folder.
I know. I love it. When that music is playing and they're just like ripping through all the characters being like, who done it?
Yeah. And I mean, you also have to think about the sketchy teacher with Brooke.
Oh my God, we haven't talked about that at
Yeah.
all. Okay, so hot teacher, who is probably the hottest person in the entire show.
Probably.
Correct?
I could agree with that.
I'm a Jake girl, but hot teacher is a hot boy.
teacher.
Is a hot boy, but he's banging Brooke.
yeah.
Yeah, which
So
is
cliche.
I don't want to spoil this for you, but in episode 2, just to like entice the listeners,
Yeah.
in episode 2, he's trying to break it off with Brooke, and she hides a naked picture of herself somewhere in the classroom.
So
and,
good,
and
yeah.
kind of like is like, okay, well, I had a naked picture of myself in your classroom. Like, good luck finding it. Like,
And
happy
he's
hunting.
teaching. And
Yeah.
he's teaching and looking for it at the same
Oh
time.
my
It's so
God.
Flipping up
funny.
books. He's teaching. He's pulling like picture frames back, and she is such a tease. I love
Yeah.
her. She's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I already brought it up once, but Riley, during the party, Noah's giving the story and telling everything to Riley, how it's going to work or how he thinks it's going to work because he's the serial killer expert. And she comes up to him, again, like you're saying, very like, not Nina just died. Can you please just tell me like what the deal is? Who did it? What's
Yeah.
going on? And he's like, I already gave the quote, but
Yeah.
it doesn't matter who done it. And he's giving his little speech, and like while he's giving the speech, that's when it's just showing all the different people and who could do it and all the sketchiness for each person. And you see, like at the end, he's sitting in his car and he's finishing up with his monologue, and he wipes his face, and there's something red that goes across his face, whether it's blood, you don't know. But so then you're wondering, okay, is Noah the killer?
Yeah.
And then also Emma has a call from Scream, the killer.
Yes.
And it's not the same voice, but it's good. I like it.
Blatantly masked. Like a mask, like app
voice changer.
Mhm.
Yeah. And he says he wants to lift the mask, and he's doing pretty much he's saying you have the perfect life, perfect friends, perfect everything. You're fake. Everyone's fake and everyone wants it to be perfect social media. I'm here to lift the mask, pretty much,
Ooh, I love it. Hello, Emma. I
Yeah.
was like fists in air. Like,
Yep.
there it is. That's the one. Hello, Sydney.
And we only see the killer's mask once, right? Because I remember going back because I told you guys how I saw the Scream 3, I
Right.
guess, thing. So I'm waiting for Ghostface. And then I'm like, wait, what the fuck is that? So
Yeah.
I went
You
back.
almost see it in the reflection when he slices Nina in the back.
Yeah.
You can kind of see in the reflection, but only because I know what it looks like. I can be
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, that's the mask. I think you see it, right? I don't know, but
I
it's
think
just
you
like
only see it
seared
in
in
that
my
one-
head.
Yeah, I don't
that
know.
one
Maybe
scene.
I'm just assuming I see it in the first scene with
Yeah.
Nina.
Yeah. I mean, you might. And I think maybe because one, like, at least for the room that I was in watching this, like the TV, like some scenes were so dark where, like, I don't know if you've ever had this with like the new kind of TVs where it's like, if it's really dark and it's daylight, you're like, what the fuck? I can't see the fucking
Oh
TV.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So that's how it was. So that could have been it. Like during that
Maybe.
scene, it's kind of dark, so I couldn't see anything. And then I was like, wait, what is the mask? Like, I'm not seeing
Yeah.
the ghost face mask. And then it clicked that it was
Yeah, and Noah does say it's the protective mask, and it's kind of like, not to use it again, but an homage to the Scream mask. Like, it has like the mouth that's kind of open, the eyes, the dark eyes, but you could tell it's a protective plastic mask.
Way scarier than Ghostface.
Oh yeah, and the cool thing about the lore is this: it's like, is it Will? Is it Jake? Is it
Brandon
Audrey?
James?
Is it Brandon James? Changes the game because there is no, in Woodsboro in the Scream movies, there is no like old town lore that goes back and you're like, was it the guy that they never found? They shot him and he went to the lake and they never found him again. It's like, is he back? Is he killing people for like some reason? It's awesome.
Yeah, and another thing we didn't bring up was the sheriff goes up to Noah and he says, we need to talk tomorrow at the station because Noah's the serial killer freak. You know, he knows everything and he's obsessed with Brandon James. So
yeah, he said serial killers are like his Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. Noah's hands down my favorite character.
Yeah, Noah's great. I wish I've seen him somewhere else after this, but
I follow him. I follow them all and everything. They all like each other's posts. I like when they're friends behind the scenes. But yeah, I haven't seen Noah in anything either. Maybe like one or two things. I've seen Bex, who's Audrey, in a bunch of things.
Yeah.
Carlson Young who plays Brooke, is married to the drummer for Foster the People. So I don't think she's been in much recently either. But Emma was in Little Women, but in the BBC,
like the TV show version.
Yeah, not the like big Saoirse Ronan movie, whatever. But man, I love this show.
I love it.
Yeah, I remember knowing it was coming out. Me and Jimmy, I was home for this summer. I guess I was home for good at this point. I was out of Penn State, but we were like, we're watching it together. Like, come home, we're sitting on this couch and we're watching it together, and we were like, looked at each other like, fuck yes.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, we saw Scream 4 at midnight, right? Oh, no, I don't think we did.
No, we saw
I was
American
at school.
Reunion at midnight.
I was at school at Penn State. Yeah.
Yeah, we saw American
Reunion. We will
Reunion.
see Scream 5 at midnight.
Boy, will we.
If we're allowed to.
Multiple times. Oh my God.
I was going to say, if we're allowed to.
Yeah, I'll rig something up to make it, and we can watch it at midnight.
Right, I'll wear a hazmat suit and just go in and watch Scream 5.
Yeah. Or they might do what they did with like all the other movies that came out in like March and April, where they just put them on like Amazon Prime and you could pay $20 to watch it.
Yeah.
Well, they announced that it's coming out in March, which I think is weird. I would
2022?
Yeah, not Halloween time, which I would have liked that better.
Oh,
but
lame.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah, it's kind of pissing me off a little bit.
Yeah, only because that would have just heightened it a little bit more. But I mean
Halloween Kills comes 2021.
Oh, I love Halloween.
Yes. Before we go, Jimmy, say the line we really like.
No.
Yes.
I'll tell you the story about how you sandbagged me in front of Billy.
Go ahead, do that.
Okay, so we go to, I guess it was for my birthday, right? You bought it for my birthday.
Yeah.
We go to a horror convention, and Billy Loomis was there.
Yeah, Skeet Boy.
Skeet. And we're actually like deciding if we're going to go up to him. We're kind of like, I'm like, fine. I'm like, I see him. I'm good. Like, I don't need to talk to him or anything. Kathleen was like, well, it's for your birthday. Let's just do it. So, like, I don't really know what I'm going to say. I don't really have anything to say, right? Yeah. Kathleen is Kathleen. So she's like, what's up, bro? What's good?
I'm like, Skeet!
So I literally just go, like, big fan or something. And she goes, Jimmy, say the line. Say the line. Say the Billy line. And I'm like, no. He's going, say it. Dude, say it. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Because first of all, it's not Billy.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not Billy's line. And second of all, it's ridiculous. And if I would have did it, he would have been like, this kid is a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
Say the line.
So
Come on.
I already did it on The Haunting of Hill House. But no, I'm going to let him do it. But I already did it on The Haunting of Hill House when I said it. Jimmy is completely correct. It's like the ghost face voice. Like it's just a call that says it. So technically, could be Stu, could be Billy,
right?
But it's not either of them.
It's not Skeet because the actor is its own voice. Like, you know, listen to me, you little bitch. So he's trying to get Sydney's attention, right?
Yes.
And
I know the part that you're talking about.
And we have a funny story when we were watching it. Remember, we're sitting downstairs like maybe 2 years ago. We're watching Scream. And she doesn't know that I'm making a video for my Instagram, like just watching it, saying that I'm watching it. And she's just sitting there, and all of a sudden I'm just trying to take the video, and Kathleen goes, listen to me, you little bitch, out of nowhere. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to start that one over again. Like,
that is so funny.
You can't watch Scream with me or Jimmy. We quote every single stupid line. Like, we love it front to back.
I'm so bummed you didn't say that in front of him. I think he would have loved it. But I totally feel you. If someone did that to me, I'd be like, no, stop. Like, if we walked in and like met like Tracy Turnblad and you were like, sing Good Morning Baltimore, I'd be like, no, stop. I
was
don't even
like,
know that song.
Kathleen.
And Kathleen would be the one to do that. Like, he does this really good impression. Jimmy, do it.
Well, let me just say that me and Jimmy are the kings and queens of wanting to meet people, but we're super stupid mega fans of people, but we're like the cool ones. So we're like, if we're not gonna say anything that's gonna make an impression, we don't want to meet them. Like, don't meet your heroes.
Yeah.
It's only gonna disappoint you type of thing. Like when I met Allie and AJ, it was tragic. But with Jimmy, like we've almost met Opie from Sons of Anarchy. But we're like,
jealous.
what would we possibly say?
I was like, I'm 5'8", he's like 6'5".
Yeah.
I can't get in the picture with this guy.
Yeah.
yeah, like so we have gone to many cons together and opt out of it. We're like, we'll do that. We'll meet this person. Then we go, no, we will not.
Nope,
we are not
nope.
doing that anyway.
And he was the only one, and you embarrassed me.
No, we had a good one with him. I thought I walked away and I was like, worth it.
Kathleen walked away because she nailed it.
Yeah.
I didn't nail it.
I was like, he's like, put his arm around me and was like tapping my shoulder, and I was like this.
I can't.
It's a good picture.
I
He's
shimmied.
freaking 50. He's a good-looking dude still,
Oh
man.
my God, hi.
Handsome.
Love
He
it.
is okay. We got to wrap this up. But one last thing, he is leaving Riverdale, and there's a video of him with his like teeny bopper girlfriend, and like videotaping him, and he's like, "I'm leaving Riverdale because I was bored," and I'm like, "Shit, he's an asshole, isn't he?"
I hope
I was
not,
like,
man.
Riverdale
Ski,
sucks.
come on,
so
dude.
I mean,
True.
I
He's
saw,
like,
he,
I'm
I saw he
bored.
was going to be in a movie with like Tom Hanks or something, so maybe he's
Okay,
moving up in the
skeet,
world.
yeah, you could have just been busting your chops. Don't get so
no,
soft.
no, it was like, okay, respect the show that has probably made you a lot of money. Like
Yeah.
Riverdale is a cash cow.
I know,
like,
but it's
big
so
time.
good. Okay, before we wrap this up, I think that I should binge 1 and 2, and then we'll have Jimmy come back and talk about it.
Hell yeah.
Oh, they're gonna say episodes 1 and 2. I'm like, okay, we'll do another episode
Yeah.
on the same exact.
Let's
No,
just-
I
I'll
was
be back
wondering,
10 times.
You were like staring at me with your mouth open. I was like, what? What did I say?
Wait, before we go, Julie, who's the killer? 1, 2.
Wait, no, stop.
3.
I don't know. I don't know.
Pick one.
I was actually starting to think that it was that, like, we're gonna find out that what's Bex's character's name?
Audrey.
Audrey is like Brandon James' like daughter or something.
Okay.
And it's her.
I love that guess. That's very
That's
thoughtful.
yeah.
I know, because there's always some crazy shit that you just gotta like keep in. It's something. It's definitely gonna be someone we're not expecting. Like they're really making it seem like it's Will and what's his face.
Jake.
And Jake.
Like they're, and that's
Boy
how,
Jake.
and like if they're following Scream, then I'm gonna be real pissed because then it's gonna be them. But also they're making it too obvious too soon that it would be them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick.
So I don't think it's them.
All right. Well,
like
that's the
it.
episode. Jimmy, do you have any podcasts you would like to plug that you're on?
I'm good.
Kidding.
So
Did you say he's kidding?
I said you're kidding.
I'm good. So me and my lovely sister are on a podcast with 5 other people, and we're called Bingetown TV. I said earlier in the episode that we're the champions of the underrated shows. We follow mostly underrated or undervalued fantasy, sci-fi, horror shows. Sometimes we just jump in and do whatever the hell we want, but we do a weekly show for the 100 right now, and then we'll do a series called Binge With Us, where we take a few episodes per season, or a few episodes at a time, and we'll binge them, and then we'll give our listeners a chance to binge as well, and then we go over it with them together via the podcast. We have another series, the Binge With Us Rooks and Vets, where we get at least two people who haven't seen the show to listen or to watch, and with 2 people who have seen it, and they do the podcast together, so you get a different viewpoint, I guess. Yeah, you get a different viewpoint from the Rooks and the Vets.
But it's fun.
It's fun.
We kill it. Bingetown TV. I hear it's a great
Bingetown TV.
podcast.
It's all right.
All right. We're not going to plug ourselves any longer.
Check it
Hit
out.
Hit it.
Guys, don't let they're being modest. So that wraps it up. You guys have known we are hyped for spooky season. It is here.
Okay. This is the start of spooky season.
Let's go.
We are in spooky season. This is the best time of year.
We're drinking pumpkin beer.
We might go live at a pumpkin patch. We don't know.
We will go live at a pumpkin patch. Now that you've spoken that into the universe.
It means it's real. Tune in next week for another episode of my favorite episode of Jimmy. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me.
Happy spooky season, y'all. We're about to kick this up a notch.
Yee-hoo.
I don't know what that means.
We're about to kick this up 2 notches.
This has been My Favorite Episode Of. My Favorite Episode Of is produced by Matt Kelly as part of the Geekscape Network and hosted by Julie and Kathleen. Check out our show notes for all of our socials and email us at myfavoriteepisodepodcast@gmail.com. Rate, review, and subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting apps, and we'll be back next week with another episode of My Favorite Episode Of.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network. You're listening to the Geekscape Network.